Good morning again from the National Weather Service in Raleigh. It's Nick Petro, and alongside me, safely, we're both wearing a mask. Alongside me is meteorologist Aaron Swiggett, and we're bringing you the routine Thursday weekly briefing for Central North Carolina, covering the period today through next Wednesday through the 28th of October. Thanks again to everyone who is joining us live via the GoToWebinar, and thanks for watching if you're watching after the fact on YouTube. So let's just kind of jump right into things, and we're going to just take a quick look at the tropics here. The background big image is the 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook, and there's two features here, the first of which is Epsilon. And Epsilon, there's some good news and some bad news. The good news is Epsilon is going to stay well far away out in the Atlantic, away from the East Coast. The bad news is it's so strong enough and close enough that it's going to send a lot of wave energy back toward the East Coast. So there's going to be a risk for high surf. There's going to be a risk for dangerous, life-threatening rip currents along the East Coast, basically from now through the weekend, and maybe perhaps even lasting into early next week. So, but the key takeaway here with Epsilon is if you know anybody going to the beach this weekend, honestly, the best thing to do is just stay out of the water, even if you're a good swimmer. So that's the safest thing to do, because there's a lot of wave energy with Epsilon, and all that wave energy is going to result in some dangerous surf conditions. Best thing to do is just stay out of the water, quite frankly. And then there's another area of disturbed weather that the Hurricane Center is keeping an eye on down in the southwest or western Caribbean. Trough of low pressure over the western Caribbean. Basically, they're saying some slow developments possible during the next few days. And you can see the formation chances there. In the 5-day period, about 30%. So now see, we looked at some longer term model guidance, and pretty much everything I've looked at suggests that'll stay well to our east as well. Even if it does develop, it should stay to our east, all right, and not be a direct impact. All right, so real quick, I just want to show some current conditions, because I like to show these as well sometimes, and you'll notice a few things. First thing I'll point out here, and let me get my highlighter here, is Epsilon, and you can see that's a nice looking tropical cyclone there. Here's Bermuda right here, and so it's passing east of Bermuda, forecast to kind of lift up this way. But all the wave energy from this counterclockwise circulation and wave energy is going to come back toward the East Coast for wave energy. I just want to draw on here just so it's clear. I don't want people to think that that arrow there means it's coming our way. That's wave energy. So anyway, keep that in mind, that if that there's going to be some dangerous rip current activity and high surf along the beaches there this weekend. All right. So anyway, otherwise, the other thing I want to draw your attention to is the fact that we've got high pressure sitting over the east. There's been a lot of fog the last couple mornings over our area, pretty high dew points. The next weather maker is up here over the Great Lakes, the Midwest, towards the mid-Mississippi Valley and the Central Plains. That frontal system, at least for now, is going to stay to our north, and maybe eventually over the weekend it drops south, but that won't be for a couple more days. Okay, so another couple days of nice weather, aside perhaps from some fog each morning. All right, so back to the slides, and this kind of just again reiterates what I've mentioned. There'll be another risk for some dense fog Friday morning. Otherwise, high pressure will give us fair weather, warm weather through the end of the work week, and then that cold front I pointed out will eventually drop eastward and southward, and that'll bring a chance for some rain to central North Carolina, maybe as early as late Saturday and maybe again on Sunday. It won't be raining that entire time. It won't be a washout. That's just when our next chances for rain will be. And it'll be pretty light, as I'll show on the next slide. And then after that, you can see down in the lower left, high pressure and fair weather will return for early next week. And then the middle of next week, there'll be yet again another cold front. We highlighted that front, I believe it was on the Monday briefing, I think. I don't recall. done a couple briefings this week. But that next front in the middle of next week, that might be more of a slow-moving front that gives us a better chance for rain with maybe a little bit higher amounts. Again, but that won't be till the middle of next week. All right. And then, as I pointed out, Hurricane Epsilon will remain east of Bermuda, but it'll promote dangerous rip current activity at the North Carolina beaches through this weekend. All right. So looking at the rainfall forecast, nothing today, nothing Friday. Most of Saturday should be dry, and what you see painted there on the screen is pretty light. That's the rain chances there coming in late in the day with that front. And while it doesn't explicitly show it Sunday and Monday, you would think, well, it's going to be mainly dry. I think that chance for rain is going to linger into Sunday. So that might need some updating there with time. Monday definitely looks dry with high pressure. And then the Tuesday and Wednesday time frame where we're going to be watching that next front approaching. And that might give us a little bit better chance for rain. So rainfall totals through early next week, we're talking through Monday or Tuesday next week, should remain less than 1 inch, if anybody sees any rain at all. So it's the rain chances over the weekend appears that the amounts will be pretty light for those that get any rain. All right. So for the next slide, I'm going to turn it over to Aaron, who I introduced at the beginning of this briefing. And Aaron's one of our newest meteorologists here, so just kind of giving him a little experience here doing one of these briefings. So, Aaron, you want to say anything about the severe thunderstorm potential for the next day or two, three? What do you have to share with the folks?
Sure. Thanks, Nick, for the introduction there. So as you can see on the screen here, not too much going on. So Nick mentioned the incoming cold front Saturday into Sunday. Now you can see on day 3 that there is a general thunderstorm risk, so there's a possibility of some rumbles of thunder as that moves through the area. But right now we're not expecting any severe potential from this storm. And then we'll move along to the rainfall outlook. So looking at the next 3 days, we're looking at some very light precip coming through from this cold front. Rainfall totals will be less than an inch, probably even less than half an inch with these storms and over a fair amount of time. So we're not expecting any sort of flooding issues throughout the next 3 days, thankfully.
All right, very good. Thanks for that, Aaron. Appreciate it. If you're curious what it's going to be like even further down the line, and this covers the period the 29th of October through the 4th of November, it looks like we're going to be in a gradual transition to below normal temps later in that period. So the graphic makes it seem like, okay, it's going to be either side, either warmer or colder. But I think what we're seeing there is a transition, and we're kind of caught in that transition time, is what's depicted there on the left. Suffice it to say that blue area is going to gradually shift eastward with time. So I think as we head into the latter part of that 8 to 14 day, we'll probably see more of a transition to cooler temps. At the same time, when you are between air masses, that's where the better rain chances are at, as you get fronts that move through and such. So that will favor above normal precipitation for the period, the 8 to 14 days from now. So that's what we're depicting there. All right, so as we wrap it up, you can see the 5-day at a glance there at the bottom. The main hazard, really, quite frankly, the next day or so is going to be dense fog early in the morning. Other than that, high pressure will result in fair and warm weather through the end of the work week. The cold front will move into our area, sometime over the weekend. So it looks like late Saturday, as Aaron pointed out a moment ago, there might be a few showers, maybe a passing thunderstorm. That risk may continue on to Sunday, and then high pressure fair weather for early next week. And then I think we're going to see better chances for rain middle next week with that next front. Again, just to remind folks, if you must drive in fog tomorrow morning, slow down, give yourself some extra time to reach your destination, use your low beam headlights, never use high beams in fog, and leave plenty of distance between you and the car in front of you. And then again, just one last time, I can't reiterate this enough because rip currents ultimately end up claiming several lives a year on the Carolina coast. So I just want to remind folks that while the weather may be nice at the beach this weekend, the water is going to have a lot of danger and energy in it, thanks to Hurricane Epsilon. So lots of rip currents, dangerous, deadly rip currents, strong rip currents. The best thing if you're going to the beach this weekend is just enjoy the sand Enjoy the lawn chair in the sand, but I probably wouldn't go into the water. So that's the best thing I can suggest. All right, so with that, I appreciate you joining us today for this Thursday edition of our weekly briefing for Central North Carolina.